Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope y'all having a wonderful day today. We're checking out another one here. It says Elon Musk 2 trillion spending cut goal is very ambitious, says Evercore. I don't even know who that person is. Alright. For a place that is extremely overspent, overstretched, way too many, big government, 2 trillion is simple. That's the thing. These people don't know business. And everybody's going to jump out and say, well, what about all the jobs that are lost? Well, maybe all these freaking, like, gold diggers doing nothing for a living for reals can stop making $250,000 a year and break down to a normal motherfuckers like us. Stop getting free benefits because of who they fucking suck. Let's see what they say though. It says spending cuts under Trump 2.0. Let's go.
Meantime, my next guest has a new note out in which she tries to quantify the spending cuts and possible targets of the newly formed
Oh, great. She reminded me of a book. That may be one.
Department of Government Efficiency, headed by Musk and Ramaswamy. For more, I'm joined by Sarah Bianchi. She's Chief Strategist of International Political Affairs and Public Policy at Evercore. Sarah, a fun one to put together. By the way, I noted, as our colleague Brian Sullivan points out, the defense, I don't know if you call them contractors, the Booz Allens and the likes, really trading down sharply in anticipation of what could happen here.
This is one thing a lot of people forget. Our fighter jets, he got the price cut down so much in his last presidency.
I don't know if you call them contractors, the Booz Allens and the likes, really trading down sharply in anticipation of what could happen here.
Yeah, well, there's a lot at risk when you announce a commission like that. But it is important for people to keep in mind that a lot of the federal government spending is Social Security and Medicare. That's really most of it, honestly. And then there is defense spending, which can be politically difficult. It's a big part of the budget, but lots of Republicans in particular like to increase it.
They honestly should have showed a chart. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Social Security and Medicaid care is like 40%, I think, of everything. And ironically, that's the one that's fucking broke, y'all. The defense budget, everybody thinks that we spend way too much of. I think it accounts for 5% to 10%. Don't quote me on that one, please. Yeah.
Part of the budget, but lots of Republicans in particular like to increase it. And then there's the other part that we call non-discretionary, non-defense discretionary education.
Okay, let me back this up a little bit. Hold up, because you just kind of said an oxymoron.
Republicans in particular like to increase it. And then there's the other part that we call non-discretionary, non-defense discretionary education and the like. I think people, well, Elon Musk is a great
lady. Public schools need to be just done, gone, done, gone, done, 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 gone. Put it on the state level.
Innovator and has certainly made a lot of contributions. He might find some of these programs are pretty hard to get rid of. First of all, most of this is within the purview of Congress. This is not something you can just wake up one morning in the executive branch and get rid of. And so,
wrong, lady, wrong. President Obama set forth a president that, yeah, any president, yes, the fuck they can. He could sign and have your job fired. Let's see what it is. Say cut to the area that would be meaningful. The part of the office that cuts out. Yes. This is just stupid. All right, look. Like what they're going after for real is they're going after stuff that overlaps. That doesn't need to be. And pointless stuff. Like putting dogs on a fucking treadmill type shit. That kind of stuff. You gonna tell me that that's not gonna get... What is wrong with auditing the government? The government works for us. Should we not audit them? I mean, look how much money we owe. Social Security and Medicaid, that's what they say is it's the biggest thing, which it is, that's true. Then why is it broke?
This is within the purview of Congress. This is not something you can just wake up one morning in the executive branch and get rid of. And so there are going to be limitations there. And again, it's very, very...
They had the state, or they had the Senate and the House. You're speaking gibberish.
Difficult. Most of these programs are there because they have a champion. And so we think getting the scope of what Musk is talking about, $2 trillion, is very, very ambitious.
I mean, let's start from the premise that it's unlikely that we hit that number. But what is likely to you? Where exactly could we see meaningful, and maybe not even meaningful, but where could we see cuts, period?
More. I see it going over.
So we think one of the places that Republicans are going to go quickly is the Medicaid program. That is a little bit easier legislatively, politically in their minds. We think the Affordable Care Act would be...
You assume an awful lot. What are you, a fucking prophet?
In their minds. We think the Affordable Care Act would be letting some of those subsidies expire at the end of next year. Again,
we did not make enough for Obamacare. What the fuck does that supposed to mean?
It's non-defense discretionary. That tends to be things like education, some kind of a potpourri of low-income programs. So those are places where...
Our education is one of the lowest in the world. Yeah, dump it and fix it. This woman is stupid. She's one of the ones that need to be a budget cut.
Program. So those are places where you could look. And again, I can see, potentially knocking off, $2 trillion over 10 years, but certainly not $2 trillion per year.
So there are actually a number of public companies that have Medicaid.
This is a cat that literally took over Twitter. Fired 75, 80% of the people in the company is turning more money. And look at her face, y'all. I can read, motherfuckers. And if I come back through here to read this woman right here is devious. She is a devious conman.
Exposure. So that'll be something for those investors to think about. Where else, Sarah?
Well, you all were mentioning the EV tax credit, and I do think that is on the list. I guess that's not spending per se, but there are folks who believe.
Here's the other thing. Look, the people that are running that is the EV people. He does want to cut that. He also wants to have a carbon tax, which is probably not going to happen. That's ironic from a guy that's on the frontier of renewable energy, isn't it? Keep shit talking them. That's why America hates you.
That is not a necessary credit. And I also thought it was interesting that the commission talked some about regulation yesterday. So it doesn't seem that they are really just going for budget cuts. They're also going to look at places where Washington is over-regulatory.
Exactly.
That you have a lot more authority to deal with the executive branch. It may not get you those dollar numbers that you're looking for.
You're wrong.
But certainly it can provide a lot of relief.
That would be kind of in the environmental, energy, education, and those kinds of areas?
No.
Exactly. Financials, but...
That is not what she just said.
The executive branch. It may not get you those dollar numbers that you're looking for, but certainly it can provide a lot of relief.
They talking about she's talking about cutting regulations, and this woman jumps in talking about something else. Cutting regulations is exactly what Trump did last time he was in office, and that's what that's what lowered the prices and everything. That combined with mostly, we was energy independent. Does people realize that? We didn't buy a single bit of any energy. We was selling it. We was net positive.
That would be kind of in the environmental, energy, education, and those kinds of areas?
No. Exactly. Financials. But certainly, I think a lot of times when they talk about the EV mandate, they're not necessarily just talking about the tax credits. They're also talking a lot about the environmental regulations that the Biden administration has.
I think. That's all they keep saying.
Certainly, I think a lot of times when they talk about the EV mandate, they're not necessarily just talking about the tax credits. They're also talking a lot about the environmental regulations that the Biden administration has in place to help drive this transition. Those we expect him to propose day one to move against. Again, it takes time to re-regulate in that space, but
if he struck it with a pen, he can eat. It could be unstrucken with a pen, lady. Sarah, I'm sorry.
To help drive this transition, those we expect him to propose day one to move against. Again, it takes time to re-regulate in that space, but very, very much on the target.
Well, we appreciate the granularity, and as we get more detail, we'd love to have you back, talk more about it.
I think, but very well on the target. That's a whole lot of not knowing anything. That really is. Right there. You see that face? I'm not going to go into it because the video is too long. Everybody take a look at that right there. That's an evil face, or evil face. Find somebody that knows how to read a person's look and have them describe to you what that right there symbolizes the way she looks. You will not like what they tell you. Hey, y'all, much love and respect. Let me know what y'all think down below. Hey, I don't even say this no more. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's do something. Let's make this thing better, y'all. Much love and respect. Catch y'all later.